On the afternoon of October 17, 1814, the streets of the slum district of St. Giles in London were bustling with activity. The narrow alleys were packed with people, children played among the mud-houses, and men and women worked in their small shops to earn a living. No one could have predicted that an unprecedented disaster was about to strike this slum, a disaster not from fire or earthquake, but from a torrent of beer. It all started at the brewery. A few streets away stood the Meahy and Company Brewery, one of the city's oldest breweries. Inside its halls, huge storage barrels, made of wood and bound with iron rings, held thousands of barrels of fermenting beer. One of these barrels, standing more than 6 meters high, contained more than 600,000 liters of dark beer. However, what the workers didn't know was that one of the iron rings holding the barrel together had slowly worn away over the years. On that fateful afternoon, as the fermentation pressure inside the barrel increased, the ring suddenly broke with a loud bang, causing the barrel to explode with tremendous force. The explosion shattered the surrounding barrels, sending a huge wave of beer rushing through the factory at breakneck speed, hurtling outward like an angry brown tornado. The old brick walls couldn't withstand this sudden flood. Part of the building collapsed. Waves of beer were pushed into the narrow streets with unstoppable force. The beer swept through the alleys, carrying debris and drowning everything in its path. The poor houses, built of wood and weak brick, collapsed under the pressure. In one house, Mary Kelly, an elderly widow, was sitting by her window when she heard the crash, but before she could get up, the furious wave swept over her, becoming the first victim of the disaster. In a small inn, a young man named Thomas Pennington was helping his mother prepare food when they heard screaming outside. He rushed to the door to find a torrent of beer rushing toward them. He tried to grab his mother, but the current was too strong, sweeping them, along with the furniture and tables, to the back wall, where they were trapped beneath the debris. Within minutes, the beer flooded the streets, and basements were filled with drowned and injured people. Some tried to swim or cling to anything that floated, while others were seriously injured by flying debris. Police and neighborhood residents began rescue operations, but the scene resembled a natural disaster. It took hours for the brown flood to subside, but only after leaving behind devastation and tragedy. 8 people lost their lives, most of them poor people living in basements flooded with beer. The Meahy and Company factory suffered heavy losses but was not held legally accountable because the incident was deemed a natural disaster. The disaster became one of the strangest incidents in London's history, and it was recounted for years. Some saw it as a curse on poverty, as all the victims were from the lower classes, while others saw it as a lesson in the dangers of industrial negligence. Those who survived continued their lives, carrying in their memories the day beer flooded their streets, not for joy, but for death.